What, you have a podcast?
Really?
Computer, show the historical documents.
Fuck you, fascists! Biofascism is a full-time job! Fuck you, fascists! Fuck you,
But then, I don't know if you heard what happened in the chamber today, but there were 3 Democrat lawmakers, one from Knoxville, who basically tried to take over the House floor and cause an insurrection on the House floor today.
We are losing our democracy. This is not normal. This is not okay. The last 2 times in particular, one, the guy committed sexual assault against 22 people. The other committed bribery. We broke a House rule because we're fighting for kids who are dying from gun violence and people in our communities who want to see an end to the proliferation of weaponry in our communities, and that leads to our expulsion. This is not democracy. This is not what it is supposed to look like, and everybody needs to be very afraid and very worried that there are people in positions of power who are using and wielding that power to expel people who are duly elected to their seats.
Why were those 2 expelled and you weren't?
Well, I think it's pretty clear I'm a 60-year-old white woman, and they are 2 young black men.
The Tennessee House Speaker went as far as comparing their actions to the January 6th.
Wait. I don't see any cops being beaten up by Trump supporters.
Do they have zip ties?
I don't see anybody defecating, any Trump supporters.
I don't think they did that.
Defecating on the floor.
I'm checking my facts here.
I don't see people running around screaming, looking for Nancy Pelosi or saying they're going to hang Mike Pence.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Recovery from Politics Podcast. I am your host, Kyle Frame, and today is Friday, April 7th, 2023. So I'm a little angry at Democrats today, believe it or not. I just don't see them ready for this fight. You have elected Republicans all across this country, from the state level, from dog catcher all the way up to the Senate, who are breaking every norm and tradition that we have, that are using the rules that are there to their advantage. And the only thing the Democrats are doing is fundraising. And while I have sympathy for the 2 men who were expelled from the Tennessee House yesterday, the only thing that happened was they got a lot of airtime on places like MSNBC and CNN, and they send out fundraising. And they're like, woohoo, help me get reelected next time. And I'm like, okay, that's you. I suppose that's okay. Where is the rest of the Democratic establishment? Where are you? Where are they? And to me, this is a very, very big problem that we're having. Okay, we have news yesterday that Clarence Thomas has basically been wined and dined by Republican billionaires for decades, and nothing is going to happen to him. Nothing is going to happen to his wife. Nothing is going to change. Absolutely nothing. The Democrats aren't talking about investigations. They sure as heck aren't talking about impeachment. They're not talking about any of it. They're focusing strictly on how to fundraise. That's it. That is my biggest number one gripe with Pelosi Democrats. All they do is fundraise. Remember, this is the same Democratic Party that was run by people like Pelosi, like Biden, who had a wonderful opportunity because we got the leaked draft for them to overturn Roe v. Wade. So they had a head start. They had weeks, 6 weeks, to think, okay, how are we going to respond to this? What are we going to do? And with 6 weeks heads up, the only thing that happened when the official word came down, 6-3, Roe v. Wade is dead and sent back to the states so that pro-life can go completely anti-abortion across this country. The only thing that happened was Nancy Pelosi sent out an email asking for more money. That was it. And I am seeing that again here in Tennessee, where it is so fucking obvious, so fucking clear what the Republicans are doing. The youth hate them, okay? They're screaming, fuck you fascists, all day, every day at these people. Minorities definitely don't like them, with the exception of Cubans in Florida. They see the demographics changing. They know which way things are going, and they know their own demographics. The old white people are dying off, okay? The generation is just coming to its end. This happens. They know that they're destined to lose. They are not changing their tune. They are changing the rules. Or they're using the rules to their advantage in ways that whoever wrote the rules and came up with them never intended. Congressmen, House congressmen, state congressmen were never supposed to be removed, expelled from office for breaking a procedural rule. The very idea that, oh, they were trying to foment an insurrection is nothing more than a dog whistle to other conservatives. Hey, don't worry, they do it too. We've got them. Wink, wink. Yet, we all know what happened. There were multiple House congressional members who were involved in January 6th insurrection that were never held to account. Liz Cheney, for all the good she did on the January 6th committee, made it a priority and bent that committee, do not focus on Republicans in the House and Senate, only focus on the president. While that's nice, McCarthy, Mitch McConnell, all of them should have been forced to testify. They should have done it. Democrats should have sat back and been like, you know what? This is a norm that we don't usually call fellow congressional members up to testify. But we're going to break it because it's also not the norm for congressional members to help in an insurrection. And you can see right here, the Republican Party has absolutely no qualms whatsoever with using the rules that the Democrats won't to twist it the way they want. Oh, you broke the rules. You fomented an insurrection. We're going to expel you. Exactly the same thing the Democrats should have done immediately following January 6th. The Republicans wasted no time. Within 1 week of this rule-breaking thing, they were expelled. They are out. They are no longer in office. They now have to seek re-election in a couple years. Where are the Democrats? Where is Biden? Biden should have been in Tennessee yesterday. He should have. Air Force One should have parked right there. He should have been on the steps of that state house, bringing even more attention to it, saying how unjust this is, and even if you want, guess what? I'm going to start prosecuting more Republicans who are doing the same thing. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. The Republicans need to start asking, the Democrats need to start asking themselves, what would Mitch do? As in Mitch McConnell, the ultimate rule, norm, tradition breaker to get his way. We don't care what the rules are. We don't care what the norms are. We don't care about tradition. All we care about is power and winning. And guess what? They are going to. Even right now, as I sit here, the Supreme Court is about to rule to take away all of your rights. Every single one of them. It is called the the independent legislature theory. This theory, which is complete bunk and bogus, suggests that the Constitution allows state legislatures to overrule the will of the people, the vote. So hypothetically, next time in 2024, if a state votes for Biden and the legislature of that state is controlled by Republicans, they can simply, with a simple majority, vote to overturn the democratically elected people and say, no, we're going to give it to the Republican. That is coming down the pipe. And yeah, there are some people who are like, this is stretching it pretty far. I mean, even for the hell-bent, corrupt, conservative Supreme Court that we have, even they won't go for it. Yeah, right. Even if they aren't going to go for it, where's the banging of the drum? Biden should make this his number one priority. Not Ukraine, not infrastructure, not COVID. It should be, hey, there are 6 assholes on the Supreme Court right now who are actively working to undermine your vote. Everyone's vote. Because the second the independent legislature theory goes into effect is the second Republicans will never lose another election. And it won't matter about your vote. And then they will sit there and cry about, oh, those Democrats, they keep causing problems, so we keep voting to expel them, and surprise, they keep losing elections because we won't let them in. It's going to become the norm. This is how fascism works. This is how this works. And it's so blatantly obvious to me that it's driving me up the wall. They are actively doing this out in the open. They're not hiding it anymore. They are saying the quiet part out loud into microphones on radio shows, on television, making it absolutely clear they intend to bend and break whatever rule is necessary to get their way. It is very obvious to me that this is the plan going forward. They're testing it out in Tennessee. But guess what? If it works, okay, if none of these Republicans in Tennessee face any consequences for their vote yesterday to expel 2 Democratic lawmakers, then it's over. They're going to keep doing it. Not just in Tennessee, but all across this country. And Democrats right now are not taking the lesson. We need to fight fire with fire. The Senate is completely democratically controlled. For every single bogus, bullshit, stupid hearing that Jim Jordan, Kevin McCarthy, and that guy Comer is going to do, the Senate Democrats should be doing the same. Oh, you're going to investigate Hunter Biden? Fuck it. We're investigating Eric Trump. We're investigating Don Jr. We're investigating Ivanka and Kushner. We're going into the Saudi deal. We're going to investigate all of them. You know what? Fuck it. We're investigating Barron. I know he's a kid, but he lived in the White House for 4 years. We want to hear what he has to say. Break all the norms. Because if we don't do this now, it is over. That's it. And right now, all I'm seeing from the Democrats is, oh, guys, just please vote for us next time. And if you got a few bucks, could you donate? In the House right now, even though they're the minority, it's a very slim minority, yet I have seen the Democrats attempt absolutely zero procedural methods to slow things down, to grind things to a halt. The second the Republicans went after Ilhan Omar and removed her unprecedentedly from her chairman or from her committee, the Democrats should have immediately said, okay, you know what? We can't stop you on this vote, but we are going to make your life a living fucking hell. Not a thing is going to pass in this chamber. We are going to look for every underhanded, dirty, cheating rule we can find. Every procedural hurdle we can throw in front of you and grind this shit to a complete and total halt until you restore her committee. They should have done that. That should have been Jeffrey's plan from day one. But he is turning out to be exactly like Nancy Pelosi. All he's doing is asking for votes and fundraising. He's not putting anything into action. He did not even speak in Ilhan Omar's defense when they did that. They're not trying hard enough. They're not fighting. And it drives us nuts because we're seeing it all. Trump has been a career criminal for the better part of 50 years. This is the first time he's being brought up on charges? The Republicans are openly flaunting the rules. Mitch McConnell says, oh no, we can't possibly replace a Supreme Court justice during a presidential election year until Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies 3 weeks before the election. And he's like, oh no, we're going to ram her through right now. We're going to get Amy Coney Barrett in now. And yet all the Democrats do is clutch their pearls and ask for money. We are going to lose our independence very quickly. So obviously, we hear about this, and I'm seeing the kids in the chamber scream, fuck you fascists, over and over again. And Morning Joe and everyone's like, calling them insurrectionists is crazy. They weren't smearing shit on the walls. They weren't calling to hang Mike Pence or Nancy Pelosi. You know what? Maybe it's fucking time for that. Maybe it is. Maybe those kids should seriously be like, oh, okay, fine. Anybody can go own an AR-15? Mom, Dad, save my college money. I need to go buy some weapons. Because the last time gun legislation really passed in this country was when the Black Panther movement had those same AR-15s out in front of the California State House, and then old Saint Ronald Reagan was like, oh, we can't fucking have this shit, and he immediately banned them. You want action? We need to show that we are playing hardball. We are not going to take this lying down, because right now, the right is going to accuse us of being insurrectionist, communist, socialist assholes anyway. We might as well, lean into it and be like, oh, okay, fine. Gloves are off. Let's go for it. Seriously. Republicans are screwing up monumentally. They're going after your kids in schools. They're ignoring your kids when they protest. Down in Florida right now, because Disney outplayed Ron DeSantis, he's actually going to go ahead and raise taxes on the entire hotel industry and also add toll roads everywhere in the state to punish Disney. But he can't punish Disney directly anymore, so he's got to do this to the entire industry. And yet, those same stupid fucking Cuban Americans that live in Miami are going to vote Republican because, oh no, socialism. Even though every single time DeSantis does something, it fucks up their pocketbook. So I'm waiting, because I don't think they're capable of rational thought. I think they're all sitting there going, yeah, fuck the libs. I'm going to slice my nose off to spite my face. Let's call them on it. I am waiting for it. Here's an idea for the Democrats. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines with an assault rifle, killed 3 people, found innocent. Just like the lady on Fox News last week who was like, hey, all these guns in Nashville were bought legally. It's time to change the laws to make it not the case. Change the law. You cannot cross state lines with a firearm to go to a protest, regardless of what side you're on. Make that a law. Try to get that done. You're not limiting, transit. You're not saying there's no travel between the states. You're just saying, hey, intent fucking matters. And we're saying if you take a gun across state lines and go to a protest, fuck you, that's a felony now. You're locked up. But start doing something. Anything. Push it down their throats. Threaten impeachment on Clarence Thomas right now. The news, by the way, was broken by ProPublica.org. They are free. I highly recommend you donate to them if you want to read the hypocrisy and the 2 decades worth of whining and dining and mega yachts and beaches that this fucker has been on for 2 decades. All so that the Republicans can get their way on things. And yet, oh no, the Supreme Court is allowed to self-police. Bullshit! Impeach him. Even if it fails, let there be an investigation. And for fuck's sake, this time have witnesses. Bring forward witnesses. Have hearings. Drag his wife up to the hill and question her for 12 hours straight. Do the same to him. There's no rules saying that you can't subpoena a Supreme Court justice, especially when they are corrupt as hell. The Democrats need to wake up, and they need to realize that the Republicans are only doing this because so far there's no consequences. No one's protesting. No one's breaking shit. No one's storming the Speaker of the Tennessee House of Representatives. No one's storming his office. No one's sending him emails. No one's calling him. There's no threat to him. He can do this because he feels untouchable. Now, a lot of people on the right are like, oh no, you don't want to go after Kavanaugh while he's sitting at a restaurant, and isn't it so horrible that, some of these Republicans go to a restaurant and they can't have a nice meal. No, they can't. Fuck them. Fuck their nice meal. Go ahead, get an Uber to deliver your food to your door and hope to God they didn't spit in it on the way to your house. You don't get that. You don't get peace in the public. There is no guarantee to peace in the public from your own constituents. And I say it's by far time we start doing it. If the Democrats won't, then we should. That's today's show. Fuck you, fascists. We'll see you next time.
Fuck you, fascists! 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 Fuck you, fascists!
Thanks for making it to the end of the show. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Tribal, Post, and most podcast platforms. This whole thing is a one-man show with zero monetization. I use free software and only publicly available records. It only grows through word of mouth from fans like you. Thanks again, have a great day, and remember to always be kind.